Fine, thank you very much. Just coming back from Aguascalientes and then just finished eating a great meat cake that my girlfriend made. So really delicious.
I made sure. Oh,
Yeah, how was your day, Mickey?
was good, teacher. Today I just relaxed a little bit because, well, in the last weekend I went to Real de Catorce and Mineral de Pozos. It was a quick journey because I saw the tour and then I decided to go, and it was something about the minutes. Probably I saw the tour at 4, and at 10 I need to go to the bus station.
Oh, really? Real de 14 is not in San Luis Potosí.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I know what that
Have you
is.
ever been there?
No, I've never been there, but I've heard of it. I recently read about Real de 14, and it has a great history in many terms, culturally, historically. There are many folklore stories. I think it's an interesting place to know, but I haven't visited it. So, how do you like it? What did you like about the town?
Yeah. Well, the town is it's like how can I say this? Like a ghost town, because there's no so many people, and there are a lot of buildings that are not that are antique. How do you say?
Antique? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mhm. and and to be honest, it is not expensive in
Okay.
comparison with other cities, tourist cities as, I don't know, San Miguel or until Guanajuato. Real
Yes.
de Catorce was cheap, and there are so many things to do. There are restaurants, there are uh, like little tours inside the town, and they explain you the highlights of the city and all
Wow.
the stuff. And yeah, it was great. And Mineral de Pozos, I like too, but it's so little. There are
Yeah.
two buildings, well, old buildings, that
Okay.
were, how you say, abandoned, I think.
Abandoned. Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
but it's good.
Okay. Very nice. Let me let me say hello to the star lady. Hello, Mitch. I'm saying the star lady because she has a star in the shirt. Very big.
Yeah.
How are you today?
Pretty good, teacher. How's it going?
Fine, thanks very much. Mickey was just telling me about two towns. The other is a town too, right, Mickey? Mineral de
Yeah,
Pozos is also a small town.
in Guanajuato, I think so.
In Guanajuato, yeah, yeah. It's also a magic town, or is not?
Yeah, now it is Magic Town.
All right. And who designates them as magic towns? Who says, "Well, you're a magic town now"?
I don't know, the government, and I think that now there are so many Magic Towns.
Yeah, but I think it's a government strategy. Could you know, Mitch, who designates them?
No, but I could theorize, but that maybe could be uh the things that can offer you that magic town. For example, we went to Tequisquiapan the last month, or as months 2 months ago. They it is a magic town because it has too many things to do to the tourists. I don't tourist.
Tourists, yeah, tourists.
There are a lot of things to do. It's a very beautiful town. There are a lot of things to do. I think that's something related to that.
Okay. All right, that's very, very interesting. There are some magic towns here close to Leon in San Francisco. I think there is called Jalpa de Canovas is a town that I believe is a magic town. Let me check. But Jalpa de Canovas, or actually, let me Google it as pueblos mágicos en Guanajuato, and we're gonna find plenty. Yeah, Jalpa de Canovas is a magic town as well, and it's very beautiful. I know this town is has funny architecture And this funny place is Jalpa. It's very pretty.
What is the name of the town?
Jalpa de Canovas.
Jalpa de Canovas.
Yes, you'll be able to see all kinds of trees. The architecture is just lovely. Jalpa de Canovas. You'll see here some pictures. Notice this is the church, the parish, parroquia, the parish is incredibly beautiful. Look at the windows with this arabesque style, with this type of windows, this type of doors that I absolutely love. And you will see this in Guadalajara as well in the San Juan de Dios Church.
Mhm.
This type of architecture is typical from the Byzantine era. The kiosk, like in many towns, another church, streets. Uh, there is a huge market. You will love this town. It's not far from San Francisco del Rincon, which is a look at this dining room.
Yeah.
Luxury. Yeah, well, I think every town has its own charm, right? So
From here, probably talking about distance, how long is from here from Irapuato?
well, from Irapuato to León is what, almost an hour, right? And then from León to San Francisco is 15 minutes, and from 15 minutes to from San Francisco to this town is another 15 minutes. You get there in an hour and 30 minutes from
Ah,
Irapuato.
it's near.
Yeah, it's not so far. It's not so far. And it's incredibly beautiful. And if you get there when there is a festivity, much better
Hmm.
because then you're able to enjoy the parties, the street celebrations. Yeah, Jalpa de Canovas is the
Jalpa de
name.
Canovas.
Yeah. Well, today I'd like to present you with some of the best speeches from JFK. What is your understanding of John F. Kennedy, Mitch? What do you know about him, about his life, about his political discourse? Is that a person that you would admire if you knew all his? Well, I don't know. He's a controversial president. What do you What do you know about him, JFK?
I'm going to be honest. I really don't know too much about him. Just I know that when he was how can I say candidato?
Candidate?
Uh, candidate to be a president, a lot of people like him because the way that he talked, the way that he expressed, and his proposals. But the rumors, well, I think that some people don't like him. Well, for some things that he did in the secret, or
Okay.
I don't know. He was killed in a, how can I say, desfile,
Parade.
in a parade for by by a shoot from uh, how can I say, edificio? Oh my god!
Building. Building.
Yes, sorry, I
Don't worry.
forgot. From
Don't
a
worry.
building. Yes, that was a very big scandal.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, tell you what, Kennedy was a very controversial figure. He's the one president that's been assassinated in the last 100 years. Although there's been many, many, many attempts, and other presidents have also been killed. I think Lincoln was killed too, right?
Yeah, I think
Um,
so.
well, Reagan, there was a murder attempt. He was shot, but he was not dead wounded. What do you know about Kennedy, Mickey? What's your take on him? How do you like him? What do you know about him?
Mm, well, yeah, I think that Kennedy was a controversial president. I think that he was so charismatic too, right?
Yeah.
And well, I know that there's one quote of him that I don't remember exactly how it was, but it was something like, uh, "Don't ask yourself about what your country can do for you. ask yourself about what can you do for your country or something like that, right? It was for him.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's by him,
Yeah.
and that's actually the first phrase that he begins his speech with in this short video. It's a video of 3 minutes. That no, it's 6 minutes, but let's make a stop at 3 minutes, and then we continue with the other speeches. The first 3 minutes, this is a selection of his 10 best speeches, and the first one is exactly the one that you just mentioned. So let's take a look at them. I'm going to send them to the chat here. Actually, I already sent it. And I'd like you to please look the first 3 minutes, and then you make your selection of the best phrase and explain why. Okay, please? So you can watch them and choose the best phrases that you most appreciate, please.
Okay, teacher. Yeah.
Okay. Well, these are the first 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
How do you like them, Mickey, Mitch? What's your impression on Kennedy's speeches?
That he traveled around, well, in some parts in the world. He seems very confident, and he, how can I say, concise?
Concise?
Oh, well, he concise, very well his speech in every way that
Well,
that helps him to convince a very big mass of people.
he summarizes them in the context that you say. He summarizes his speech very well to convince people, right? He's persuasive, right? He's very persuasive. All right. Now, from the sentences, from the speeches that he gave, which one looks to you or seems to you most appealing?
Mm, well, um, the I think that there's one speech when he's talking about um, going to the moon, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And in that speech, well, I think that what he wants to show is that, well, in this case, obviously, Americans um, are willing to do anything to have new challenges, and that they are always willing to accept those challenges. That they are not, that they don't have fear, and yeah, I like that one. The majority, well, all the the parts of the speeches I liked, but that one especially.
Okay. Yeah. That's a nice speech. And actually, somewhere he says, we do this, we are doing this, not because it is easy, but because it is hard. I like that a
Mhm.
lot.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, he's extremely controversial for many reasons that we're going to talk in a minute. But thank you, Mickey, for your comments. Mitch, you said that he summarizes his speech very well. He is convincing and persuasive. What else did you like about his speeches? Which one did you like the best or the most?
I tend to like the speeches with which it's pretty like can interact with the public. The first one, for example, that he said something like, "It's not what we're going to do with the country. It's like you want to do with the country," and it's like inspirational. With that it include us to participate in his plan.
Okay, I believe it's the one that Minky mentioned at the beginning, and also is one that I like a lot as well, and apparently it impressed you too. So I believe the phrase or the quote is something like this. Can you read it, Mitch, please?
Okay, ask not what the country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right. Well, um, he was very charismatic with a lot of charm. The fact is that he was assassinated, and there are lots of theories, some of them conspirational theories. So those theories um, are interesting from the point of view of historical value. Very briefly, let's take no more than 5 minutes. Which are the conspiracy theories about Kennedy's death? Can you check this data, please? This information. Which are the conspiracy theories about Kennedy's death? What
Uh, which are
is?
the comparison theories about Kansas?
Yeah,
Okay.
he was murdered, but
Um, I
yes, me.
remember one conspiracy theory that was that the CIA and the FBI uh, were involved, right?
Okay.
Because I think that were tensions between Kennedy and some topics with Cuba and the Cold War. I don't know how to say it. The Cold War. How do you say Guerra
The
Fría? I
Cold
don't
War,
know.
yes, it's just the Cold War, but there were tension. How was that? How was the sentence? There were tensions.
Uh-huh. That they were involved in the uh, assassinated, or how is it?
The assassination.
Mm-hmm. In cause for some tensions between Kennedy and those agencies between in topics of the Cold War and the Cuba invasion.
Okay. Incipient Cold War and okay, yes, Cuban invasion. Absolutely, absolutely. That is one of the theories why Kennedy was murdered. What else can you find or could you find, Mitch, in addition to this?
Okay. Boy. Hmm.
Let me give you the other stories.
The another one was that the how do you say, gangsters or the mafia? I don't know.
Mafia, yeah, the mafia.
Yeah, I think that the mafia was behind the assassinate of of Kennedy in because he was trying to how say how say like uh, persecute.
Prosecute,
Yeah,
prosecute, prosecute them.
yeah, the organized delinquency or
The organized crime,
the organized crime.
Mm.
prosecute them. All right. Well, it's a good theory. There
Uh,
is an yes, Mitch. Yes.
I have here the where it says that more multiple shooters or grassy knoll theory, uh, which is there were multiple shooters. One of the most persistent conspiracy theories suggests that there were multiple shooters involved in the assassination. This theory often points to the grassy knoll area near Dili Plaza as a potential location for another shooter. Witnesses reported hearing gunshots from different directions, leading some to believe that Oswald could not have acted alone.
Well, yeah, that's what most people believe that Oswald, the murderer, did not act alone. But then, where does all this investigation lead to? Well, apparently, it leads to Lyndon Johnson, the next president of the U.S. And when I was reading about this, there were still a lot of sites it's mentioning this, and many of these sites have been removed or taken down from internet. Let me just check really quick, or let's check really quick if there is still a conspiracy theory pointing to Lyndon Johnson. We're coming a little bit out of the topic because it's just how the speeches were, but now that we're here just for a couple of minutes, conspiracy theory of Kennedy's murder. Lyndon Johnson, the next president of the US. Let's see. Conspiracy theory. Okay, here is the top 5 John Kennedy assassination conspiracy theories. And here we have them. It's not too much. Let's read it. Can you read the first paragraph, Mitch, please? Actually, the
Sure.
first two, because the first one says the first two paragraphs, please. Please,
Okay.
Lois.
November 11. Uh, the 50 years since the assassination, the John F. Kennedy have done little to quell. What means quell?
To solve or to apaciguate, to pacify the public's interest.
Okay, thank you. To call the public's interest of skepticism about who killed the president. In 1964, a year after the president's death, The President Commission on the Assassination of President Kennedy, better known as the Warren Commission, concluded that Kennedy was killed by a single gunman, Lee Harvey Oswald, who acted alone and not part of a conspiracy.
Okay, okay. Well, that's the official version. Personally, I don't agree. I don't believe that. Let's see the next one. Mickey, can you read the next paragraph, please? 1978,
Yes.
please.
In 1978, however, another government committee, the House of Representatives Select Committee on Assassinations, found that in addition to Oswald, there likely was a second gunman who fired at the president's motorcade. The commission concluded that the gunmen were part of a conspiracy, without determining exactly who was behind it, opening the door to 5 decades and a cottage industry of theories.
Right. Um, let's read the next paragraph, Mitch, please. According to a 2003 ABC News poll.
According to 2003 ABC News poll, 70% of Americans believe Kennedy's death was the result of blood, not the act of a lone killer. 51% believe Oswald did not act alone, and 7% believe Oswald was not involved at all in the assassination.
All right. Now I'm going to read this. In the years since Kennedy's death, more than 2,000 books have been written about the assassination, many of which espouse one or more conspiracy theories. Well, but that's only one. And there is another one. Mickey, can you read the next? Let's see. This, and this. The next three paragraphs, please.
Yes.
Please, Mickey. Thanks.
In no particular order and with no endorsement, here are 5 of the most popular Kennedy assassination conspiracy theories. The Soviets did it text. The Soviets seems like an obvious choice if you're looking for a dark hand behind Kennedy's assassination. Proponents of the theory point to 2 pieces of evidence. First, the US and the Soviet Union were engaged in a bitter Cold War. Conspiracy theorists allege that Soviet Premier Nikita Khrushchev
Khrushchev.
Khrushchev was so embarrassed by having to back down following the Cuban Missile Crisis, he ordered the hit on Kennedy.
All right. Well, that's towards the Russians. I don't believe it, but could be. I don't know. Let's see the next one, Mitch, please.
The other compelling
Compelling. Yeah.
The other compelling piece of evidence is Lee Harvey Oswald's connection to the USSR. So, a former Marine, Oswald had twice visited the Soviet Union with his Russian-born wife Marina. Both the Warren Commission and the House Committee on Assassinations found little evidence to support a Soviet-backed operation, but Noah's former KGB agent came out years later to say the Russians played a role in the plot. Media number.
All right. Thank you, Mitch. The next one is more or less what Mickey or what you were saying, Mitch. Let's see. Let's read it, Mickey, please. Can you?
The
That and the
mafia
next
did
one.
the mafia did the test. This much we know is true. The CIA had contacts with organized crime families to discuss assassinating the president. Only the president was Cuba's Fidel Castro, not Kennedy.
Okay, so they were planning to kill a president, but Cuba's president, not the US president. All right. Let's read also this one, Mickey, please. The mob was heavily invested.
The mob was heavily invested in casinos and other luxury investments in Cuba before Castro's communist revolution. According to one iteration of the theory, Kennedy botched the Bay of Pigs invasion, ending any hopes of American organized crime returning to Cuba and enraging the mafia.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what you said. The US government backed the Cuban rebels, gave them weapons, training, and money to revolt against the Cuban president Fidel Castro, like they do in every Latin American country for the last 200 years. Well, but this operation failed. The Secret Service of Cuba was uh, extremely well prepared. They found them. They got news of the attempt to evict the government of Cuba, and planned an operation called Bay of Pigs, which ended in a huge, huge embarrassment for Kennedy, for the US government, for the United States as a nation, among the world. They were the public shame. Everyone was saying how they were planning to attack Cuba. They couldn't, and they were the mocking stock, the laughing stock of the world. So people were very angry with Kennedy for that, and they allege that that's why they killed him. But of course, it's a conspiracy theory. Let's read the next two ones. Mitch, please, can you?
Uh, One version of the theory has the CIA who had already conducted the mob. What means mob?
Of the mafia?
Okay. The mob about killing Castro, asking the mafia to carry out the Kennedy hit. In another version, the mob is paid to kill Kennedy by anti-Castro Cubans. Many proponents of this conspiracy theory point to Jack Ruby, the Dallas nightclub owner with no mafia connections, who killed Lee Harvey Oswald 2 days after his arrest.
All right, so that's another one. And then we have this. Let's see. All right, here. Let's read these two. Mickey, please, can you?
Yes, sure. The Warren Commission cleared the mafia for involvement in any such plot. The House Committee on Assassinations found that the mafia was not involved in a conspiracy, but didn't rule out that individuals with motives were part of the plot. The
Okay.
Cubans did it, given that US agents tried to assassinate Cuban President Fidel Castro numerous times. The theory goes, Castro decided he would repay the honor and tried to assassinate Kennedy.
Okay. Well, that's a theory, and this is the probably the most famous one. Can you read these three paragraphs, Mitch, please?
Mhm. Perhaps the most famous proponent of the Cuban theory was the President Lyndon Johnson, the man who would also succeed Kennedy following the assassination. Kennedy was trying to get to Castro, but Castro got to find him first. Johnson told ABC News in 1968, both the Warren Commission and the House Committee of Assassinations cleared the Cubans of any involvement, and while Castro was interviewed by Bill Moyers in 1977, he called the theory absolute insanity in media. Yeah, no.
Okay. Yeah, of course. All right. Well, this is the one that I was mentioning, and for me, is the most coherent. But of course, I'm not a specialist, but it's interesting. Can you read these three paragraphs, Mickey, please?
Yes, sure. Uh, Lyndon Johnson did a test. Who had the most to gain from killing Kennedy? Lyndon Johnson, the man who became president. The gist of the theory is that Johnson was motivated by ambition and received help from members of the CIA and wealthy tycoons who believed they would profit more under a Johnson administration. According to one version of the theory, Johnson was aided in the plot by another man who would become president, George H. W. Bush, a burgeoning CIA official who happened to be in Dallas on the day of the assassination.
All right. Well, there is a picture. I don't know if they still on internet. Picture of George Bush during Kennedy's assassination. Let's see if this picture is here or not. Images. Well, let's see. There is. Okay. Well, this is of course maybe not true, but well, they say that there is a plot, and this is part 1% overwhelming amount of evidence that President Kennedy was hit by bullets from the front and the rear. Not one man, but many people.
Mhm.
That makes it a plot, a complot, right? And in one of those suggestions, they say that the Bush family did it through George Bush because they had a large interest in oil businesses, which Kennedy was conceding to the Arabs. True or false? Well, I don't know, but it's interesting anyways. Well, that's the next to the last one. And the last one before we come back to our actual topic. All right, let's read the last, these three image, please. Can you?
Mhm.
The CIA did it.
Uh, the CIA detects in nearly every theory that involves American conspirators, be they wealthy. What was wealthy?
Was it rich,
Okay,
ricos?
true. Thank you. Wealthy industrialists or thug assassins, mafiosi. One group in relatively represented the CIA. The Central Intelligence Agency is an easy boogeyman. Its workings and agents are a secret to most Americans, and the agency in the 1960s had a reputation for high-level political assassinations. One theory suggests that Oswald was a CIA operative and agents tampered with his FBI file before and after the investigation to make it appear he was a communist and lone wolf.
Which, of course, is hard to believe, but well. And in its 1978 report, the House Select Committee of Assassinations found that there was no indication that Oswald had ever had contact with the agency. Well, that they don't want to incriminate him. All right, well, that was Kennedy, and his speeches were incredibly interesting. If you can please watch the second part of the speeches, you will maybe get to believe one of the theories. Let's see which one you believe, but let's see what you think. So let's please watch the second part of the speeches, please. Can we?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, well, I finished the reading. How did you like it?
I finished.
Finished, Mitch? Did you notice his criticism towards secret societies, which obviously are the Rosemarys, the Masons? There are many, the Ku Klux Klan, many secret societies that he criticized. Well, another theory that was not seen here points to those groups that he uh, criticized. What do you think, Mickey?
Sorry, teacher. Hmm, well, I don't know. We know that there are so many theories, and probably those theories, some are correct and some not. But I think that Kennedy probably have a good purpose to United States in general, and that's why probably he attacked. Well, yeah, in words, he attacked those. How can I say clans or those secret societies? Because I think that there is not necessary to have those secret um, societies because I don't know, there could be different um, misunderstandings, or how can I say it?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And activities that you don't understand what the purpose is, right?
Yeah.
There are so many clandestine organizations, so many secret organizations that justify their acts on some dark theory of supremacy, like the white supremacists, like the Ku
Mhm.
Klux Klan, like the Masonry, like the Rosemarys. There are so many. What do you think about these, Mitch? Secret organizations that Kennedy was planning to ban, to prohibit?
Uh, well, judging the way that he talked pretty confident about these organizations, I could understand why they got in pretty polemic with this organization. There is this kind of version that other people think that it has to be. Uh, how can I say? Tiene que callarse.
He has to be shut up. He
Uh-huh.
has to be shut
It
up.
has to be shut up, and well, he obviously got mad with these organizations. For example, it captured my attention the part that he said he talked about the peace, a real peace. For example, we saw the Oppenheimer movie, and well, I know before that, but people in United States in that centuries was pretty in favor about the war, about the bonds being the country, the dominant country, and not care about the life for other people in around the world. And I think this could be the how can I say premisia?
The premise,
The premise about this organization to get mad with Kennedy, but of course his intentions were the best.
that's a good comment. That's a very good comment. When he says secret organizations should be banned, it comes to my mind the fact that George Bush and George Bush's family were part of a secret organization. Bush was also in the oil business and his brothers and descendants, the next president, George Bush Jr., and they were suffering with Kennedy monetary wise. But I'm not saying that they did it. What do you think, Mickey?
Mm,
What do you like about the speeches? I mean, what kind of force do they have? Are they convincing? Does he talk to the people? Does he meet their wishes, interests? What do you think about the way of delivering the speech?
yeah, obviously Kennedy was one of the most charismatic presidents of not only United States, I think that of all world, and I think because he has this charisma and how do you say presence or
Presence, yes, yes.
yeah. Apart of that, obviously he has the skill to connect with people. I think that he used emotion in all the speech and in the moments that he's talking about something probably more profound. Yeah, I noticed his body language, his tone of voice, how he modifies depending of the things that you're saying, and yeah, that provocate the capacity to inspire the others. So yeah, I think that he was a great how to say this speaker, yeah, speaker.
Speaker, yes.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That's very true. Very interesting. How are we doing on time, Mickey?
Could you repeat, teacher? I couldn't hear you.
How are we doing on time? I think you had a commitment. Do we still have time? Or
Yes,
should
teacher. No, I sent in a message that I'd be a little bit late, but no, don't worry.
Okay, so we still have a few minutes then.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. Well, uh, something that I like about some presidents, some politicians, is the way they talk to convince, to persuade people. They provoke emotions. They deliver this empathy. They show this empathy towards the people. Another one, which is a good Democrat as well. Look, there are three great Democrats who are great speakers. Is Hillary Clinton. I don't know if you have ever heard Hillary talk. The way she talks is extremely impressive. She's very down to earth. She seems to be totally authentic. I don't know if she is, but she looks very authentic. Hillary Clinton, famous speeches, famous speeches. Have you ever heard Hillary, Mitch?
Yes, but being honest, I don't remember
Okay, so
how
let's
she
see.
talks.
Best speeches. Be resilient. All right. This is too long. Let me choose one that is short. Okay. This is probably the best speech she has ever delivered. And this is 3 minute speech. Let's see. Advertisement. All right. Thin skinned. All right. Here we go. Well, I'll send you the link. Best speech to date. It's here. You need to scroll a bit so that you can see the speech because it's embedded in a page. So let's see. I posted the link both in the WhatsApp group and in the StreamYard.
Yeah.
Please take a look at it, please. And it is a 3 minute speech. Let's see how you like it.
Okay.
You may just watch the first 1 minute if you wish. It's not too extensive, but well, I mean, 1 minute is probably enough. Okay. In true honor, I like the speech. Oh, I like how she
Yeah.
talks, and the
Uh,
arguments seem very solid. What do you think, Mitch?
she feels pretty maternal. Well, I feel like a mom was talking to me and said, "Don't worry, everything's going to be okay." She was pretty direct. She was to the point. In our playing, she was like she contextualizes as a situation and gave us the solution. Well, actually, it was pretty assertive. Summarize it. If I was, if I went to be, if I no, if I was an American citizen to vote for her, I would vote for her, of course.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, she's a great speaker. She has this maturity. She's an excellent, excellent orator, excellent speaker. How do you like the speech, Mickey? Thank you, Mitch.
Yeah, it is a good speech. I think that in her speech, she shows that, well, her experience, her political experience and knowledge, and apart of that, it seems like she has her discourse so prepared, because, well, we know that sometimes Donald Trump started to, how can I say this, to,
To stumble, to
Mhm.
trip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And in this case, in this speech of her, There's nothing about that, and obviously she's so clear with her message, and a part of that she used all the resources that she had in that time. That, for example, in that time, I remember that Donald Trump was attacking Latin community and Mexicans and all the stuff, and she uses like her strength.
Yeah, it looks like a hammer, right? Over and over
Mhm.
and over. It's not a wise idea to attack two of your neighbors because they are great help here. However, and this is what is funny about politics, Obama, who spoke very highly of Latins and Mexicans,
Yeah,
deported
yeah,
many more than Trump or any
than
other
Donald Trump.
Republican. Yeah,
Yeah.
or any other candidate.
Hmm.
Also, Trump has employed lots of Latins in his companies. So they speak nicely, but I don't know if it is true what they say all the time. So that's why we need to beware of speeches like this one, and they're Republicans too. I'm not saying that they are angels and that the Democrats are devils. I'm just saying that the speech should be convincing, but also the facts, right? Also the acts. The when you deliver what you say is the best.
Yeah, I noticed that at the end of his government, of the Trump's government, because yeah, I know that he deported less people than than Obama. He didn't start a war, and I think that the economy of the United States was good when he was uh, the president. Well, obviously, past the pandemic and all those things, but I think that I don't know. My issue here is that I'm not fan of what's the name of this sir?
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden. Yeah, yeah.
Well, I just learned yesterday when I took my daughter and her husband to Guanajuato, through her husband to this guy,
Hmm.
that they had to repay the money that Trump gave him. Donald Trump gave him $1,400 during the pandemic,
All
and
right.
recently they had to pay it back with Biden's government, plus interest and taxes. So what Trump gave him as a not as a loan but as a gift,
Yeah,
Biden said,
that's
no,
right.
you got to pay that back. So every person who received that money had to pay it back. And now, well, they had to pay back those 2,800 um, dollars.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know this, sir, but I need to be more informed to give my my opinion about him and his government until now. But the things that I've noticed and that I've seen, I don't know. I'm not his biggest fan.
Yeah, I imagine. I imagine. Well, um, so let's get together again when? Maybe tomorrow? Or how's your time tomorrow, Mitch, Mickey, for our next
Um, I
session?
finish I finished classes at 5, but actually before that I have an appointment with someone. Then I think tomorrow it's not possible for me.
Could it be Thursday? We have three classes pending for this week, right?
Hmm.
So it could be maybe Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I don't know if you guys agree with that, or what can we
Yes,
do?
sure. Yeah, for me
Yes,
it's okay. Can I just confirm you on Saturday the Saturday's class?
absolutely. Yes, please. Yes, and if it is in the evening, not a biggie, not a problem with me. All right.
Oh, okay, teacher. Yeah, perfect.
So see you Thursday, maybe what 4, 5, 5:30,
At
the
four,
latest.
I don't know, at 4:15, four,
Four
4:15.
fifteen. 4,
Yeah.
4:15. All right. Okay. Perfect. Okay. Very good. Well, thank you, Mitch. Mickey, take care. Enjoy
Thank
your
you, teacher.
afternoon.